As you likely know from experience, procrastination is a behavior used to postpone a task or action to a later time, often due to underlying anxiety associated with either starting what could be done now, or even the fear of change that may be experienced when the task or action is complete. Ironically, the things that we believe we may want the most to achieve often cause anxiety when the realization sets in that this achievement can occur. Because it's likely important enough to be the catalyst behind a single or even infinite changes in our lives, our lifestyle, our standard of living, our search for significance and purpose, our standard of well-being, that when viewed as such, tends to be overwhelming as such a large outcome. It will certainly demand that change happens in one way or another. And so it's often safer to just dream about the potential difference that can occur when you decide to end procrastination once and for all. But dreaming about it is only one part of the process, and where many people begin to end. If the process is fully followed to completion, then it would require that your dreams begin to intensify. That place of procrastination can become more obscure as your focus changes, because clarity is your course of action and what you really want and need to achieve in order to truly create internal peace. Beginning today, only with today, let's separate everything out. Most people procrastinate in various situations in life, and it generally results in temporary relief from anxiety or a lessened sense of being overwhelmed. But in the long run, it does create an increased feeling of stress, typically followed by guilt, when one is forced by circumstance to realize the loss of productivity, which typically leads to a crisis and likely embarrassment in the face of peers, employers, investors, friends, family, and whoever else might be a part of your life. Since we've already begun, let's take this to the extreme. Consider the first element in your life that comes to mind in which you've had an old problem of procrastinating. Notice all the times in the past that you have procrastinated in regard to this topic. Now, what will happen in 1 week's time if you continue to procrastinate with this? And now notice the worst possible outcomes, the very extreme of what you don't want to happen, but know could happen if the procrastination doesn't end now today. What will happen in 1 month's time? 6 months? One year? Have you noticed this before? New Year's resolutions? New Year's resolutions are typically the biggest reminder of how we haven't followed through on our commitments, because we weren't actually committed to them. Usually, we were committed more to the things that prevented us from achieving the underlying essence of what we want. Our so-called resolutions are often written in such a form as this example: I want to lose weight. Essentially saying that you wish to end a certain behavior, or that you don't want to do something anymore. How is the example of saying, I want to lose weight, different from saying, I want a healthy, active lifestyle that keeps me fit? Which one implies a change in your values, and specifically, what is important to you? Notice how the language of I want to lose weight implies that the situation is something that you want to move away from. And with I want a healthy, active lifestyle that keeps me fit, the language implies that you're moving toward what you want. Often strategies that allow a person to move toward what they want are more powerful and more motivating than trying to get away from a situation that you don't like. One is proactive, the other is reactive. The way that we structure our thoughts is nearly always expressed in our language. What about 3 years of putting off this thing that you don't want to do? What would that be like? And how has it affected your life and those around you? Go out 5 years, having not accomplished what you want in regard to this topic, because you're still procrastinating. Now 10 years, a full decade. A large chapter of your life has been completed, and you haven't achieved what you want because of procrastination. Procrastinating, that is, what used to feel better than actually doing what you really want in life, now can feel pretty sickening, can't it? As you tell yourself that yes, you have been wasting your precious time, and how many other people in the world have missed out on you living to your fullest, and what that could have meant in their lives, not to mention all the pleasure you would have felt by accomplishing this specific thing. I know, it's a bleak picture to look at, but know that this is only the 10-year outcome of what you used to be the most committed to. Are you ready to change your life now in regards to this specific element, the thing that you truly want to achieve? If not, if you decide you are more committed to perhaps mediocrity and self-loathing and all the pain that you know to be associated with all that old stuff, before you turn off this program, and even if you do feel more motivated now to change anyway, think about what you want to achieve. Are you ready to change your life now in regards to this specific element, the thing that you truly want to achieve? If not, if you decide you are more committed to perhaps mediocrity and self-loathing and all the pain that you know to be associated with all that old stuff, before you turn off this program, and even if you do feel more motivated now to change anyway, think of the problem that comes to mind. And try this. To yourself, say the following, and notice how they progressively change the way you might feel. Say, I am procrastinating. I have this problem with procrastinating. I've been having a problem with procrastinating. I've had a problem with procrastinating. I've had that problem. I had a problem. How far away does it seem now? How would it feel if you were simply able to do all that you need to when the time is right? Confident, competent, relieved, free, happy, excited. I don't know what you'll experience by getting through that old problem, but you do. So remember it, because we're going to use it in just a second. And as you consider this, say the following to yourself. I've had resources, and I feel. Now you fill in the blank. What do you feel when you have these resources? When you are able to do all that you need to do when the time is right, how does that make you feel? So again, say, I've had resources and I feel. Now fill in the blank. Now say, I've felt resourceful and sometimes I feel. Fill in the blank. Say, I've even been feeling resourceful. And as you're feeling resourceful, what are you saying to yourself? As you're feeling resourceful, saying this to yourself now, think about that problem that you had and how much more resourceful you'll be feeling in the future now. Now, transport yourself back in time to the very first time that you remember procrastinating. Maybe it was about the same thing. Maybe it was about something in your childhood that almost seems foolish or silly, but at the time, you knew it to be a big deal. Maybe it was homework, cleaning your room, doing chores, some sort of responsibility that you knew affected you and indirectly affected others. When you have it in mind, imagine that you can float up above that situation in the past. If you don't know how, then imagine what it would be like or look like to ride safely in a glass elevator up into the sky, past clouds, and from there, know that point in time is down below you. From this point in time, why did you choose to procrastinate? What were you afraid of, or what caused you anxiety? What would you experience if you just did what you needed to do? When is the first time you experienced this, which when disconnected will cause the procrastination to disappear? I know you may not immediately know. As it comes to mind, I want you to float up above your personal timeline, the way that you know your past from your future, and float back until you reach the point in time when that event first occurred. From here, notice how it is below you, and preserve the positive learnings from that experience. Whatever you need to have learned from this event, preserve it in that special place you reserve for all such learnings. Now, look into the past again and float higher up and further back until you're before the event, looking toward now, which is down below you and in front of you. And notice, where are the emotions now? Are they gone? If you can still sense some emotions associated with that event, float higher up and further back along your timeline. Float higher up and further back. Higher up and further back. If not already, soon you'll find that you begin to experience a refreshingly calm sense of bliss. Now come back along your timeline, only as quickly as you can. Let go of all the negative emotions on the event that used to be associated with that root cause. All the way back to now. Preserve the learnings of each life experience and let go of the emotions all the way back to today. As you integrate all the learnings into your body. In the past, you had a way of knowing that it was time to procrastinate. Perhaps it was the way that you saw what you needed to do in your mind's eye, and it just seemed so large and overwhelming. Or other people might say to themselves in an almost whiny voice from their childhood that, "I just don't have the energy for that right now." Others might feel tightness in their stomach or tension in another place in their body. Whatever your sign was for letting yourself know that it was time to procrastinate, it typically began with something that would remind you that you needed or were obligated to complete this task or do this specific thing. What was it for you? Did you see something and it reminded you to procrastinate? The way that we look in our mirror, or someone telling us that something is due. Whatever it may be, we know when it's time to do what we need to do, and in the past, we've chosen to go the direction that will not fulfill our goal. This time, I want you to think of what it was that happened the moment before you chose to procrastinate. If it's something that you see it as clearly as possible. And take the picture of what is reminding you and shrink it down in size until it is a size that feels manageable. And then think of what you will see when you have accomplished what you want, and it's perfect in its own way. What does that look like? Make a picture of what you want to accomplish. And make it very large so that it becomes very motivating. And you can see yourself being irresistibly pulled toward this picture of your outcome by its gravitational power. And take this big picture of the completed outcome and notice how good that feels in its own way. And now take the much smaller picture of what reminds you to do this. And put it right in the center of the large picture. So that you can see the successful outcome completely surrounding this reminder, as though it were a border for the much smaller picture in the center of it. And if you need to do that again, take the picture that's the reminder for you and shrink it down so that it's a manageable size, even as small as the size of a postage stamp if you need to. And then consider the way that you want everything to be when you finish this outcome. How perfect will it be? And take that and make it a very large picture. And notice how good you feel about it. And take that large picture, and at the very center of it, insert the much smaller picture of the reminder into the large picture so that you can feel good about being reminded to achieve this outcome. Now pay attention to what you might tell yourself when it was time to do what you knew you needed to do. Did you say something like, "I don't want to," or "I can't"? Whatever you may have said, repeat it to yourself. Now notice the tone of your voice. And now drop the words so that all you hear are the fluctuating tones. The old phrase that "I don't want to" might sound something like I know this sounds weird or even funny, and I guess that this probably is a language pattern that you used as a whiny child when you didn't want to do something. And oddly enough, today, you're still using that old program, except for it's not getting you what you want. If this is the case for you, then notice what happens if you grow up that voice until it is a powerful adult that does the things that you are committed to doing. Say what will give you the excitement, power, strength, focus, and motivation as an adult to accomplish what you truly want. Go ahead and say it to yourself and notice the difference as you say it with power. And say it again to yourself with absolute conviction that you can do it. Now perhaps you felt something negative when you knew it was time to procrastinate. For some people, it's a sense of being powerless, tired, weak, or unmotivated. Pay attention to where you experience that in your body. Is it in any specific part of your body? Give that negative thing that you felt a color and a shape. For example, it could be a blue square, or a red circle. Whatever it is for you, go ahead and give it a color and shape. Now pull the thing out of your body and suspend it in the air about 1 foot away from you. Ask it what its higher purpose is for you. Thank it for serving you in this way, and tell it that now you can care for yourself in this area of your life. What do you know would help you to feel more empowered about achieving what you want? Perhaps more energy, more focus, more peace, etc. Whatever it may be, give this a color and a shape. And if it's more than one thing, begin to combine them into multiple colors and shapes. Now go back to that old thing that is suspended in front of your body that used to assist you in procrastinating. I want you to cut any cords or strings that attach you to it. Shrink it down in size until it's the size of a period on a newspaper, just a little dot. Then push the dot away from you and into the sun, where it evaporates in the tremendous heat. Now take the colors and shapes of the things that will give you what you need to feel empowered, and pull those into your body, in the space that was left open by that old thing. Notice the difference each color and shape can have as you charge them with the experience that you want it to mean to you. Now I want you to think of what it is that you want to achieve. Go through the process where it is time to focus upon it, and experience flawlessly completing it in a timely manner. Being pulled toward the pleasure of experiencing what the completed outcome means to you now. If it's something that needs to be done routinely, experience doing it exactly on time and time again, for days, weeks, or months. If it's something you only need to do once, successfully complete it in a way that makes you feel extremely proud of your ability to make this happen. Now, either way, go out 1 month and notice the differences that have happened because of your decision to make this happen. Go out in time 6 months from now and notice all of the changes this has made in your life and probably even the lives of others. Go out a year from now and pay attention to the changes. And even 5 years from now. Go out 10 years from now, noticing all the changes this has had upon your life and the way that you truly want it to be. Looking back toward today and realizing that it was because of the work that you began today and the subtle changes and shifts that were made in your beliefs, behaviors, and associations that you were empowered to create this life of significance and purpose. As all of this integrates into your mind, body, and spirit, begin to bring your awareness back to your surroundings, realizing that you can use this program and the other resources available to you for many more purposes. Be amazing. Visit www.attentionshifting.com for the latest programs.